Not really. It's 5:30 right now. It's kind of late, I know, because usually by now, like, I'd be finishing up, but whatever. Saturday, January 11th. Okay, first of all, it was 60 degrees today. Now, as much as I like warm weather and everything, it's also January. Like, that's not normal in Pennsylvania. That's not supposed to happen. You know, I had the window open, I had a nice breeze coming in, but at the same time, like, that's not okay. I want to talk about equipment today and, like, what I have, essentially. I feel like a big question or something that a lot of people think is that you need expensive equipment to make good videos, and realistically I don't think that's the case at all. I mean, my camera is like, I think when I picked up my camera it was like $600 or $700, and that was like just for the camera itself. But the thing is, like, it doesn't matter if I have a $600 or $700 camera or a $1,500 camera or a $2,000 camera. Like, having a more expensive camera isn't going to make my videos better. Like, it's just, I think that it boils down to what you do with it. Like, obviously anymore there's a standard. You can't have like absolutely terrible quality, I don't think, because people just, they don't want to watch that. You don't have to have the most expensive things, but you know, obviously it can't be terrible at the same time. Now, my setup, I'm pretty sure I went over this before, but my setup is a pretty typical YouTube setup. It's a Canon Rebel SL3 with the Joby GorillaPod on it and a Rode VideoMic Go. Now, this whole setup came out to about like $830, which realistically, like, for what you're getting, like, that's a pretty good price, because like I said before, like the original camera I was looking at was, I think it was like $800 for the camera itself. So yeah, I mean, to get all that for $830 and like the quality that I have is like pretty solid. Like, I have the option of shooting 4K on this. I don't, because that would take forever to upload, but even still, like, I have that option. Like, I could pretty much do anything with this setup that I have. That's the one thing. Like, if you're just starting out, I highly recommend not getting a really expensive, like, fancy camera, because first of all, like, you pick one of those up and it looks so confusing. There's so much stuff on there. Like, if I went with like a Canon like 80D or even like a T7i, like, it's just, there's so much more to them, and it's like, I think that it makes it a lot more intimidating, and it just, I feel like there's a higher chance that you're just gonna get really bored of it. You're not really gonna know how to use it. You're probably gonna end up not even really using it that much. So definitely go with a cheaper and more simple setup if you're just starting out, because there's no reason to get the most expensive stuff. You don't need that. Get it simple and like just easy to use setup, because that's where you're gonna have the most fun, and you're gonna be able to pick it up pretty easily, and you're gonna be able to learn how to use it a lot easier, rather than a camera with a whole bunch of different buttons and dials on it. Like, when I was first looking at them and I was gonna get, I forget which one it was, but it was a slightly more expensive one. The only reason I got this one was because of how simple it looked. Like, I had no idea, like, the specifications for it. I had no idea what any of it means. Honestly, I still don't. I don't study these things. I really don't know anything about them. But what I do know from just using this so much is that it's a very easy camera to use, and I'm really glad that I got this one, because there's not much to it at all. It's very self-explanatory and very simple to use. So that's like one of the best things that you could ask for when you're first starting out. Now, another thing, this is pretty important. So this is one of the most important pieces of equipment you could possibly own. And that is a computer to edit video on. Personally, I really think that a MacBook is the way to go if you're gonna edit videos like this. But if you're into like gaming, then you should probably build your own PC. I think that the computer that you use to edit on it's a pretty important thing to keep in mind. You don't want to have any problems. Like, one of the worst things is when you have problems with editing. Yeah, so basically, no, you don't need the most expensive stuff. I mean, obviously there's a standard, and you should have like decent quality, but cameras have also gotten so good at this point that it really doesn't even matter. Like you don't have to have the most expensive one to make good videos. What matters is how you use it and how you're able to convey a message in the edit. That's like the most important thing when it comes to this. Equipment doesn't really matter. I mean, Yeah, sure, it helps to have like nice drone shots and everything, and I wish I was able to use a drone, but even still, it's like I don't need one to make a video, you know what I mean? Like I don't need one to make a decent video. Even the lighting that I use, like right now, I'll show you. Like that's it. That's the only lighting that I use. It's literally a desk lamp, and I put a paper towel over it just to kind of diffuse the light a little bit. And I honestly, like, it does a pretty good job. Like I like the way that it looks, just because like with the ring lights and the super expensive like light panels and everything, I think that the light comes off like too aggressive and it looks like you're in a laboratory, and I don't like that, especially like the way that a ring light can reflect off things. It looks bad, even though I was like thinking about getting one like today, but I didn't get one because I don't really think that I need one, because this, like, I mean, I think it does a pretty good job. And it was, I think I like stole that from my brother. Like it's not even mine. He just said I could use it, so I was like, yeah, sure. There's really nothing like special that I use except for my computer. Like that's really the only like extravagant thing that I use, and even that's like I only edit videos on there, so I don't even really need a computer that powerful. And the only reason that I even bought my camera is because I was using up way too much space on my phone, and I knew that if I bought one, that it would be more incentive for me to make more videos, because now it's like, okay, well, you just went out and bought a fairly expensive camera setup, so you might as well use it. Also, I kind of want to start switching up my content a little bit. It's exciting because I do want to like change things up a little bit and like see what works and what doesn't. So yeah, it's exciting to be able to branch out a little bit. So expect some new videos soon, some like different types of videos coming. It's almost 6 o'clock right now.